Okay, started. Welcome to episode 3 of the XWiki Meetup. Yeah, we plenty of people joining us today. Yeah. Okay, so we wanted to have 3 newcomers because the first time we had one newcomer, second time we had 2, and today we wanted 3. But so
Yep.
Yes, it's you.
It's
and
early.
three.
It's early.
It's still early, yes. It's still early. So guys, what do you want to do for today? So Thomas, a demo. What else do you want to discuss or see?
You can present the roadmap. We had another release meanwhile.
The roadmap of, sorry?
For the latest version we released.
You mean for us? Or for people who will be watching this later after?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you're mentioning 9.9, it's very easy. There is not much. Okay, done. Well, there's very little actually. That's not going to be long. No, I could also show you what I've done at the SoftShare conference, the quality presentation. I have a wiki with some stuff in it. It's not much, but I'm also interested for getting feedback because I'm planning to do that talk again in the future. So if you have feedback, that would be interesting. Okay, so should we start? Thomas, you want to show us something?
Okay. I don't know. Screen share. Screen share. Up.
Yeah. Could see your screen. Can I force it to your screen? Yes. So normally, yeah, okay, I've forced it to your screen, so now the recording is on your screen.
Okay. So when I join Atelier des Médias, so Atelier des Médias is a co-working, but it's a non-profit organization, so it's a bit different from most of our co-working, at least in France. You don't have an employee to take care of the place and organize stuff. So we have to organize ourselves. And the main issue when I joined Atelier des Médias was that it was pretty much impossible to find anything. Basically, you had to ask many people who were not remembering what you were searching for. So I started to discuss about the possibility to put a wiki in place, so we can start writing stuff and remember them, because it was quite a pain.
And you chose XWiki, nice.
Yeah, so I did it, so I chose XWiki. Basically, it's not like there was a big discussion about it. I proposed to do it, so I did it with the tool I know. It's usually how it works, basically. Most of the time, if someone proposes something, he must be ready to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with this kind of organization. So yeah, so the beginning it was just basic XWiki with not much else that just putting information in here and there, and teaching people in the organization to use XWiki to put content. So there's a bit of an organization, but I told most people to just put content where they want and use search. Most people use search. You have a few things like as you see in the home page, but most people search what they want to get. So that was the first version, and then we started to put more and more logic in the wiki because we didn't want it to do it. So everything we can automatize, we put it. I try to put it in the intranet. So you have a few applications. So the first thing I did was to dedicate a space for each. So each domain of stuff to do for the organization is done by a group. So each group have its own space and tools to do what needs to be done in this group. So we have communication, events, a lot of stuff, everything that needs to be done. So okay, let's see. So the first need was to store meeting notes. So for example, the meeting of the board of administration, it needs to be written, legally, it needs to be stored somewhere. So I wrote a little application to store them. So you put the date, you create a new one. It's a very simple thing. And you indicate the ordre du jour. So this is the next meeting, and the previous one which didn't occur yet. And you have the meeting notes and what was supposed to be discussed during this meeting, who was there, who was not there, and so you can filter. Very basic, but
cool.
It was a pain to access these things. It was printed before and put somewhere. So if you wanted to know what happened during a meeting, it was not always easy. So now you can search for anything in the meeting, it will appear, and you can look at the date. So that was the first thing. Also, people created a few applications with Meetup within minutes. So
you mean people, not you?
No, not me. Basically,
nice.
all the application on the left, except for the standard application, I didn't create them.
Yeah, you can see they didn't.
I've improved them a bit. But so, for example, a restaurant is. So we usually take order when we go take something to eat and go back eat it with everyone here. So someone started to list stuff we could buy around. It's really not up to date, but you have the main stuff around there. So there's a lot of ideas too, and votes and stuff like this. We don't really have a process to actually do things with a lot of votes or anything. It's just to store ideas in some place, and it's usually more to have a place when you can follow an idea proposed by someone who is working on it and gathering information and stuff like this.
Thomas?
Yes.
How many people are there in this association?
So, you have
155? That's a lot.
You have 155 accounts, but you have people. We don't delete accounts of people who are not here anymore. So fix is people who have dedicated space. So it's 9 people. Plus nomad is people who are here all the time, like me, but don't have a dedicated space. You go where there's some room.
So 53.
So, yeah. So that's that's the most active people, and passenger is people coming from time to time. Yeah, and then you have so it's an association. So you have people who don't work here, but are part of the organization and come from time to time, but they don't work in the area. So it's at the same time you usually won't have more than 55 people working in the office in the big days.
Oh, that's pretty large.
Yeah, but it depends on the day. If you're on Wednesday, for example, usually you might end up with 5 or 6 people. During the summer, you might be alone. So yeah. So this is a work in progress to manage future coworkers. So I'm not the one working on it. There's several developers who are working on XWiki, but it's mostly me. So this is a contact list of other organizations, and we have a lot of journalists here, so we'll see a lot of newspapers and stuff like this in our context when we need to communicate about something. So this you saw already. So it's administration board. So this is the task manager, which is only used by in the informatic team. It's not. We just list what we plan to do. So this is the same. It's not done by me. It's a list of room you can rent in the area, and then the little issue here. Yeah, I tried to use the Excel export plugin, but it was not really great. I need to clean up this. Okay, so this is we worked with that a long time, and more recently I started to work on reduce the work done by when I can call it treasury is the account people. So we have a lot of people. We have to deal with rent and invoices, and it was quite a pain to generate. We have to generate invoices because most people here we will need the invoice to declare them, because most of them are not employees, they are companies. So I work on a little application too. Wait. Okay. So every month you have 2 kind of invoices basically. Every month we generate automatically invoices for automatic withdrawals for depending if it's a fix or a nomad. So you can see all the invoices here, and each people can see invoices which has been generated for them in their profile, and access them. Okay. You have all your invoices. You receive them automatically by as a PDF in the mail too, and you can export them. You can come by if you lose the mail or anything. You can export it here. You can create new invoices for more custom stuff. Oh yeah, every year you also have an invoice for the. I don't know how to say this, but you have to pay a small fee for as a member of the association. So it's the same, it's automatically generated. And you can create fully custom invoices. It doesn't happen much, but from time to time we have the need to create custom invoices. So yeah, it's mail. What else? So there was a need also to have a simpler page. It's a bit slow, but a simpler page to have everything in the same place to deal with people going back, leaving, new people, etc., and filter and exporting a list of people. So I did a lot of stuff and sending mails to a group of people and stuff like this. So this is very custom, but yeah, it's all dynamic. So you click and you indicate who paid the fee for the year, who is who asked to be automatically to pay automatically for the year. And you enable, disable people. You deal with formula change and etc. It was simpler to have everything in the same. You can do it in the profile of each people too, but sometimes you need to go and check everyone for some reason. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, some groups are. So each group is organized the way it wants, and it change when the people in the group changes. But I've provided some tools for them to organize. So for example, you have this group as a permanence. Not sure how to say this in English. So you have one people responsible for all the stuff to do for the group, which turn each week. So you can configure the list and the order of these people, and they will receive a mail automatically every Monday to say, so it's the turn of Anaïs, and next it's going to be Angel, etc. And it's added to the calendar too automatically. So you can see for the following weeks who is going to be the main people to look for when you have money issues. What else? There's not much more. Oh yes, there's something else we started, but it's not that much linked to XWiki. So we get statistics about the local network. So we get we do a ping of everyone who's connected at one moment every hour, and we store these statistics to know if there is some room, to know basically if we can get more people or if we are too many, etc. Get some statistics about the place. And you can, and we plan to allow people to say, so this MAC, so we store the MAC address, and people will say, so this MAC address is mine, and you'll get personal statistics about when you are at the office, etc. So we didn't decide it yet what to do with it. Yeah, so in the profile we added a lot of stuff. So I didn't. People just use profile customization and added stuff to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in a very good Wi-Fi right now.
That's very nice.
So, for example, we have here a card.
Now we can get in now, right?
No, this is my card I use to open the door, and it's automatically synchronized with a Raspberry Pi, which deal with the door.
And where do you store that information?
In the profile, you have each people have the code of the card.
No, the log that you want to make statistics on.
You are talking about the Wi-Fi statistics. It's stored in a custom table.
Okay. So I have some questions for you there in the Hangout chat.
Oh.
No, in the Hangout, yeah. One of them was what was the biggest adoption problem, or did you had users I don't know, that had initial problems with XWiki?
So the first issue was actually login to XWiki. So you have to understand that it's not really tech-savvy user, so people forget their password all the time. So when we started, we have an issue with the password reminder. It's working now.
This is not the first community I know had this problem with XWiki, so maybe, I don't know, do you know the state of our social login, if it's working or if we should improve it? Or, I mean, I know people that would prefer to log in with their Facebook account or just reuse.
Well, actually, in this case, we didn't want that because we actually want Atelier des Media accounts. There is people who are not on Facebook, etc. So we wanted something. All the accounts have the same kind of name, the same format for the IDs, etc. So we wanted something clean. So we didn't want to use a social login anyway. It was not really a technical issue. No, it's just that people don't write much, but they do search information in it. At first, it's just that, it's not Facebook, so it's okay if people don't go there all the time. But if you search something, you're going to find it in the intranet. So that part is a win. If we have something, so everyone put the information in the intranet now, basically. And when you search something, you're going to find it usually. You have to remind people to do it from time to time, but yeah, it's working.
So at least now we know that our search engine is working okay, and we don't have the problem like we had 5 years ago when people were complaining about the search.
Yeah. No, it's mostly working. Most people don't search that much. What is used the most is invoices and meeting notes.
Do you also have a PDF export on it, or
for the
invoice?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What I showed you earlier, you can go in your profile. You have the list of all invoices generated for you. And in the invoice itself, you have a link to export in a PDF. Mm-hmm. But you also receive a PDF each time a new document of type invoice created. It sends a mail to the target of the invoice with the PDF.
Okay. In what version Are you on?
Always the last one.
Okay. And
I
you don't
just
have any.
apt-get upgrade.
Okay, so you don't have any upgrade problems?
No.
What about rights?
What about right? So most of the time, XWiki preferences not modified much, but
Did any of the other users complain about the rights system being hard to understand or to set
they
up?
don't use it much.
Yeah, since
Most of the
have
right
it.
setup has been done by me. But you know, half of the organization has admin rights. We don't really have trust issues, so rights is not. Yeah, Treasury needs to modify profiles from time to time. Half of the groups need to modify profiles, so half of the group have admin rights, and it's not
Yeah.
really an issue for us.
What he was mentioning is this small community, which is more or less similar to what you seem to have set up here. And the guy that tried to set up XWiki for it, his feedback was that he basically lost them at the login. They had a lot of problems with remembering passwords, as you said, and recover was not working. So
Well,
he said that social login would have been a definite win there. And the other problem was his setup of rights, because he wanted to make it closed by default and only open on the homepage or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not an issue for us. And yeah, for the login, it was mostly a joke. Some people have an issue with it, but most people
they have an
go
option
there
to click.
often enough. It's okay. They chose their password, so.
Yeah, but I really think we should try to focus on social login to have it stable.
But here it was something we didn't want to anyway.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing, Thomas. That's
Wait,
cool.
I still have questions there. Or
Sorry,
can
I
I
didn't
ask
hear
them?
that.
Or?
Your voice broke, Cathy.
Yeah, so the other was, so you're not using this at all as presentation website, it's just internal, so it's
Yeah,
closed?
it's an intranet, yeah. I propose to do there's a public website which is based on WordPress as usual. Since it's a fully custom skin, I propose to do it on XWiki, but yeah, people wanted to use the tool they use all the time.
Okay. And the other question is,
Didn't really try.
So if you were to describe a flavor for this, what flavor would that be? I mean,
co-working flavor.
No, it's more generic than co-working flavor. I think it's any non-profit organization needs tools like this.
NGO flavor.
Yeah, NGO, I'm not sure, because you have you actually have employees to deal with administration on big NGO, but on small ones, so yeah, maybe it's organization without any employees, basically.
and if there isn't a feature that you would need from the roadmap, do you have a desire or something that you wanted for when you is not implemented yet?
Real time.
It's the other way around, I think.
Real time collaboration. But, yeah, I think the main thing would be real time, but it's not used that much with many people at the same time. It's really a asynchronous use on the intranet.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the other way around. There are plenty of little apps that here that would be useful as extension. I know that Thomas put some extension already. I don't remember which one, Thomas, but you added
many.
some.
So what you have here to deal with groups, with teams. So I released the Teams application with all the tools I done for for this. You have an invoice application, which is the one I built for this here. You also have a user. So when we add someone, it creates a new profile and it's automatically sending a mail to this new profile. So I did a little extension to generate mails when there is special events like this. So
Okay.
it's a welcome mail with information about the organizations. Stuff
So
like
in,
this.
so in practice, Cathy, so what's missing? The only thing missing to create a flavor, an association flavor, is just the flavor itself. We have all the apps, right?
Yeah.
So not
Yeah,
much.
maybe a bit of a home page or something. I don't know.
And in terms of contributors, I mean, did other people from your organization that reported?
On the extension, I listed nobody, but several developers working. When I joined Atelier des Médias, there was basically the only developer. So we are now, let's say, 2, more or less. So that's the thing too. There's not much developer to add new features, but for the content of the intranet, I don't add much content myself. So almost everything in it has been added by someone else. I mostly concentrate on tools, and yeah, if some content is missing, I'm trying to find out why people didn't add it. And yeah, sometimes it's because it needs to be a form, and like nobody were putting some groups do meetings, some don't, but nobody was putting meeting notes. So that's why I wrote this meeting application to deal with meeting notes, to make sure people would have an easy way to add it and search for it.
And this app is on extension.xwiki.org also?
Yeah, everything I done is on extension.xwiki.org.
Cool.
My
I didn't release a
congratulations
restaurant application, but apart from this, everything which is generic enough has been released.
Thomas, it's really nice to hear that what you did, you also contribute back to extensions. You're a good example to give. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but yeah, it's not. It's not often like this.
So I have a question for Clément.
To make it easier, we would need some tools to publish extension from the wiki, I think.
So Clément.
Yep. Hi.
Good to see you here. I have a question for you. So Thomas presented us this intranet for his association. My question is, what about Attila, your association?
Oh.
Does it have something like this?
Oh yeah, no.
Would you need something like this also? Would you need something like this? Would it be interesting for you to use XWiki or not?
Well, I can try to ask the board of Attila if they do accept to use XWiki. But currently the trend is more to develop our own software ourselves, because we are basically Attila is like a hackerspace in engineering school. So yeah.
So
it's kind of the opposite.
You can take it for yourselves and
my
develop
association.
it yourself. All the application will be done by you.
You can develop extensions for sure.
Yeah. Well, I could try. Actually, I guess that I already tried once or twice, and the main thing is
it's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah,
because if you try it, you have to be prepared to support it yourself.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm currently not. I don't study in the same city as where the organization is in, so it's quite hard to do some maintenance. But actually, I have worked on deploying XWiki in Fab Lab. So it's like I don't know how to describe it in English, but actually it's a place where people meet and well create new things, have access to industrial tools in order to do their own projects. So they use XWiki as their main documentation platform, but they don't use it very extensively. Basically, it's just using wiki pages and maybe one or two extensions, but not that much. The main difference between their instance and a standard XWiki instance is like a skin that has changed, but that's it.
Okay, which Fab Lab is this?
So it's called La Boîte. I can give you it. It's a Fab Lab installed in Sergi, and I can give you the address in the chat.
There's one thing that could help. I was thinking of as in a new feature is adding a lot new properties types you can use in approving init, for example, but in general. So a lot of stuff specialized field because it's really poor right now.
And you have like a list of examples of what you would need?
So, for example, here for the restaurant, the address. So you have to hack it a bit to get a link to Google Map, for example. So things like this, you know. And yeah.
Yes, that's
there's plenty of things we can think about, and that really are missing. And very simple stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I was half joking, Clément. Remember, you're on. It's just that Thomas presented us something with an association, and I remember that you also had one.
Oh, yeah. But it's a work in progress, actually. But yeah, for now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we have only, let's keep it short to 1 hour. So we have only 15 minutes more. Cathy, you wanted to ask Clément something?
I wanted to tell him that he might want to disable the tour for the documentation lab bot because if he uses it as a presentation website, yeah, that should be disabled.
Oh yeah, it's indeed.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes more max. I mean, we can stop now if we want, or we can continue for 15 minutes. Or a bit less. What do you want to do? Someone wants to present something, discuss something in particular?
I have 2 notes to make, if I can do that.
Okay.
One is that regarding the notification design proposals. So Guillaume already started implementing that. So it's going to be event-based, Vincent. So you didn't respond to that, or? No,
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So just to make sure everyone.
We iterate. What I want is that we have something polished by the end of the year, whatever the solution, and then we can iterate if need be.
Okay. And another mark I wanted to do is that Thomas' script for the Google Coding for the Jira synchronization is really great, but we should create more issues there to have them. But,
indeed, we have less than 1 month to create at least 75 issues, yes.
Yeah. So at least if we did like 10 per each mentor, that would be...
I saw that you started creating quite a few starting yesterday and today, so that's nice.
Yes, I did 5 yesterday and 5 today, so yeah.
It's not only creating Jira, we need to decide what we want to put, the common stuff to put in all tasks and stuff like this.
Yeah, so that's what Cathy
create repeatable task and.
I've reused something from Vincent. I added some more infos, and the thing is that I believe the issues are very, very easy. But I think it's great because I believe most of them will not have much.
I'm not sure that easy, Cathy. Yeah? Be careful. The guys they're only from 12 to 16 or 17.
17, yeah.
So they're not easy, what I selected, or?
No, I mean they're fine. They're probably fine, but what we consider easy is maybe not that easy for them.
So I don't think
the hard part might
easier.
be to actually find where you have to fix something.
Even when there is just CSS, you could think that they would know, but yeah, we need to find where it integrates in XWiki, where is this CSS located, and what are the best practices, and etc. It's not that easy.
Yeah, but they'll have the mailing list and the forum.
Sure. Well, the most interesting, really, in my opinion, are the repeatable tasks. But we need to start entering them. I don't think we've entered them yet.
No. Okay, that's all from me.
And we need to decide if you want to have them on our side and synchronize them, etc. So it's not just about
we can start by putting them on the GCI first, maybe on this direction, so that we have something, and later on decide if we want them also on our side. I don't know. The minimum is to have them on the GCI website for sure.
Yeah.
What's about the since we're talking about GCI? GCI for people who listen to us is the Google Coding. So XWiki has applied and has been selected to participate to Google Coding, and so we're organizing the work. So question I wanted to ask. I don't remember. What was I saying?
Repeatable task in the synchronization.
No, VM. Yeah, about the VM. What's the status of the VM?
I'm waiting for Kevin.
Okay. Just you have something, but we need.
I need to upload it somewhere.
Okay. Okay, so it's not much left. Okay, that's cool.
So Vincent, you want to show us the slides for the talk?
I can show. Well, I can show very briefly. Yeah, let me explain. So I've participated to a conference last week called SoftCheck in Switzerland, and I discovered something interesting. So in the past, I've tried to promote XWiki and speak about XWiki at conferences by having talks mentioning XWiki, like XWiki runtime web development platform or these kind of things. And whenever there is XWiki in the title, it doesn't work that well because it may not be known well enough, so it doesn't attract people. So what I started this time with, and I found it to work very well, was to talk about a topic, but using XWiki just as a tool for that topic. And the talk that worked well for me was entitled "How to Create Your Own Quality Dashboard for Your Project." It was a Java conference. Actually, I can share. Let me.
So the Swiss talk didn't have any success, or?
So there are two talks there. There were two talks. One about XWiki itself, and one about creating the quality dashboard thing. And this is the one that worked the best. And let me. Oops. So this was. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
A bit small.
Now it's bigger. So that was the talk, and this talk worked very well. So people came. They didn't even know it was XWiki. People even said, "Oh, Vincent is talking about something different than XWiki." I heard in the corridors. And actually, it was about XWiki, but XWiki doesn't matter that it's XWiki. It's just a tool to create something else. So this one, so it was about doing a live demo of how to use XWiki to create your own quality dashboard. So I'm not going to do the talk here. Just going to do quickly. So the idea was to just explain why was XWiki a good tool for implementing this quality dashboard. And then I picked some quality metrics that I wanted to monitor. So taking some data from Jenkins, from SonarQube, from Jira, and from GitHub. So I picked several sources of data. And then I went through all of them and did it in XWiki. So the first one was about showing that in XWiki you can put some scripts, like Groovy script, for example, and call some remote APIs very easily to do something. And then I explained how I could store this data locally, these metrics, so that you can actually graph how they are evolving over time. and see whether you're going in the right direction or not. So I explained a bit about X class and X objects, and I coded this. So showing that, for example, getting some test count information from Jenkins and graphing it. So this is the result that I wanted to show. So using defining a class, defining objects, and then creating a script to actually query the data and automatically creating pages with the data. Then I was showing the graph macro to graph it, and generating again another Groovy script, the graph macro.
Vincent, next time you should use the syntax highlighting for the code.
I'm using it in the wiki, but not in the...
Yeah, but make a screenshot in the wiki and put it here.
No, I didn't put a screenshot because I'm copy pasting that when I'm doing it.
Okay.
And the screenshot I cannot copy paste in my wiki. That's the reason
It's not an image.
Yes, it's not an image. And then I showed how to use the scheduler to actually get every day, for example, the metrics and save them locally in the wiki. And then I showed how to use the dashboard macro and how to put that in the dashboard. So that was the first widget of the dashboard. And then I moved to doing the same with Sonar and using the REST API of Sonar to fetch information and using the cache macro to improve performance. If you don't want to store locally, then you can use the cache macro to improve a bit the performance. So building up the dashboard, so with 2 widgets now. And then I've shown how you can actually do some custom actions on the metrics that you gather. For example, imagine that when you have more than 10 issues that are bug or something that are critical bugs or whatever, sending an email about that.
In the future, it would be nice to also use the notification API to have a pop-up.
Notification to whom?
The notification from the XWiki.
But that you wouldn't be able to do that with the notification.
I don't know.
This is some custom action that you write in a script in order to send something specific. It's not about being notified of something in the wiki, about a change in the wiki. It's a bit different use case. And then I've shown the Jira integration. So this one, I didn't build it. I used the Jira macro that already existed, showing that we have already some existing tools. So adding this to the dashboard. And then the last thing I've shown was the GitHub integration. So I'd already installed that in the wiki, and then I just used the macro. And this led to, let me show it to you. This led to this wiki page in the end. Showing a very quite simple dashboard with 4 widgets built dynamically during in about 30 minutes to 1 hour, and people liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
They were very interested. So I found that now I've actually, a lot of people told me that I should present it at other conferences. So I've actually registered to the CFP of various conferences with this talk, and we'll see how it goes. So that's all I wanted to show you.
Why? What's the difference between the green and the yellow? I don't remember. Why green? It's my username with the yellow in the GitHub?
Sorry, green and yellow? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This is because I was taking the example of XWiki Commons.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but actually it's not normal. You shouldn't be yellow here. It doesn't matter. I mean, the green means committer and yellow means contributor. So several of you.
Yeah, it's good that we have 2 colors in the dashboard, so that's great.
I don't know why. And Sergio is there. Yeah, it's ordered by number. I don't know why. Because I didn't actually. I just ran it. I didn't fix anything. Because when you import the users from GitHub and from locally, there's some there are some stuff to fix sometimes. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. I think we should stop now unless someone has something else to say. So, Clément, anything you want to?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. On my side, I think I'm gonna try to finish the work on the notify the admin if an upgrade is available.
Yeah.
I've been lastly working mainly on so the XWiki Fedora packaging, which I will put on hold, I think, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and also on moving to the Keypress JS.
That's very nice, yeah.
And yeah, so for this part, it's quite good because we have some failing, some functional tests that are failing, but I think I know why, and they should be corrected by tomorrow. But then we will be able to implement new shortcuts. So
that's cool.
Basically, for me, notifications when the upgrade is available plus shortcuts at the end of the year, it should be nice. But yeah, as I said, like maybe this morning, I think, having some time to correct the bugs of the platform for maybe the next few weeks that will come here when we will have finished the roadmap for 9.6.
Yeah,
it will be quite nice, I think, to improve the quality of the product. But
yes, it would be nice to know what the others are thinking about this. It was a discussion mostly between us two on the devs mailing list this morning. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Shall we stop now? Is that okay for everyone?
Yep.
Thanks, Thomas, for showing us the wiki. That's really nice.
Yeah, that was nice and something new for us. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.